Morgan and I decided that we would make an attempt to fulfill the plan at the park.
What's the interested? Your emergency?
Waukesha County, Lindy. I'm transferring over a caller on Big Bend at the dead end just south of Rivera. And he came upon a 12-year-old female. She appears to be stabbed.
She appears to be what?
Stabbed.
Stabbed?
Correct.
Okay.
Today, when I was in a car with the police officer.
Did you ever see her son?
Yeah.
On May 31st, 2014, a 12-year-old girl collapsed on the grass, praying that she would survive as she staggered out of the woods with blood seeping through her white t-shirt and yellow shorts. The tragic case we have for you today concerns a 12-year-old girl who was lured into the woods by two of her closest friends. She was stabbed 19 times to appease the tall, anonymous figure known as Slender, who was suspected of kidnapping and terrorizing children. The Slender Man stabbing case refers to a disturbing incident that took place in Waukesha, Wisconsin in 2014, in which the victim miraculously survived the attack and managed to crawl out of the woods to get help. But it took years for her to recover, both mentally and physically. Both of her best friends claimed that they believed that Slender Man was real, and that they needed to prove their loyalty to him by committing the murder. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be captivated by the dark tale of the Slenderman stabbing case, as we delve into the chilling details of how an internet myth turned into a real-life nightmare. The details of the unfortunate case that had garnered national attention and raised questions about the influence of internet culture and mental health issues on young people are as follows. The Slender Man, sometimes written as Slenderman, is a made-up fictional character that was first popularized online in 2009. As a creepypasta meme by Something Awful Forum member Eric Knudsen, also referred to as Victor Surge. Slenderman is portrayed as a skinny, abnormally tall humanoid dressed in a black suit with a featureless white head and face. Narratives of the Slenderman often depict him harassing, kidnapping, and causing trauma to individuals, especially kids. The case centers on three individuals, Anissa Weier, Morgan Geyser, and their victim, Peyton Isabel Lochner. The attack occurred in Dave's Park, a wooded area near Waukesha, Wisconsin, while the three girls were playing hide-and-seek on May 31, 2014. Weier and Geyser held down Lochner, also known as Bella at the time, and stabbed her 19 times with a 5-inch blade.
Morgan and I decided that we would make an attempt to fulfill the plan at the park.
The injuries included wounds to her arms, legs, and torso, with two of the wounds affecting major organs. One narrowly missed a major artery of her heart, while another pierced her diaphragm, liver, and stomach. Lochner was told to lie down by Weier and Geyser while they went to get help, but after they left, they never returned. Lochner then dragged herself to a nearby road where a cyclist discovered her. When a cyclist spotted her, he dialed 911. Weier and Geyser were captured approximately 5 hours later at Sneederfield's furniture store, close to Interstate 94, having traveled 4.9 miles, or 7.9 kilometers on foot. They carried a bag with a knife that was used in the stabbing. They intended to travel about 200 miles by foot from their current location to meet Slender Man at his mansion, known as Slender Mansion, in the Nicolet National Forest. In their interviews, Geyser and Weier expressed a lack of empathy and guilt for stabbing the victim respectively, but they both believed that the attack was necessary to placate Slender Man. A week after the attack, Lochner was discharged from the hospital, and in September 2014, she went back to school. Geyser had numerous hallucinations as a child, including seeing ghosts, color oozing out of walls, and imaginary friends named Maggie and Seb. One frequent hallucination was a man Geyser known only as It, whose body was the color of ink and smoke, and he would frequently stand behind her in mirrors, or moving around corners like Slender Man. Geyser's mother, Angie, claimed she went into psychotic states following the arrest. Correctional officers observed that Geyser frequently talked to herself, dressed as a cat, and kept ants as pets. Geyser was transferred to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute in the fall of 2014 so that her competency to stand trial could be assessed. On October 22, 2014, they made the early onset childhood schizophrenia diagnosis for Geyser, but rather than treating her and giving her medicine, they concentrated concentrated on educating Geisner about the law to get her ready for trial. Geisner was judged confident enough to stand trial almost 6 months later, and for 19 months, Geisner's schizophrenia went untreated, causing her to stay in a state of psychosis or detachment from reality. After receiving antipsychotics in December and being returned to Winnebago, Geisner was able to feel regret after her mind was cleared. After being given the medicine, Geisner was returned to jail on March 23, 2016, where she became subsequently worse. Weier was charged with attempted second-degree homicide, a Class B felony, and Geisner was charged with attempted first-degree homicide, a Class A felony, after the investigation. Both Weier and Geisner were waived out of juvenile court to face adult trials due to the seriousness of their offenses. Weier entered a guilty plea in 2017 for their involvement in attempted second-degree homicide. She was later declared not guilty by mental disease or defect by a jury. Geisner agreed to a plea deal that said she would not go to trial and would be assessed by psychiatrists to discern the appropriate length of stay for her in a mental health facility. Later, she entered a guilty plea, but her conviction was overturned due to a mental illness or defect. She was also diagnosed with schizophrenia, a condition that also affects her father. Weier, on the other hand, received an indeterminate sentence of 25 years to life, which included at least 3 years of locked confinement and involuntary treatment in a state psychiatric institute. After that, she was to be under communal supervision until she turned 37. The maximum sentence possible, 4 years to life, was given to Geisner. It included an indeterminate sentence that included at least 3 years of locked confinement and involuntary treatment in a state psychiatric institute, until all symptoms were resolved or she turned 53, whichever came first. The sentence also called for continued community supervision, regular reevaluations, and/or reinstitution for additional treatment as needed. For the term of her sentence, Geisner will remain in an institute. However, she will have the opportunity to petition for her release from a mental health facility on occasion. Geisner was admitted to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute during her trial and was the youngest patient there. Geisner's request for a juvenile retrial was denied by an appeals court in 2020, in addition to claiming that Geisner gave statements to investigators before being informed of her Miranda rights. Her attorney, Matthew Pinnix, contended that she should have been charged with attempted second-degree intentional homicide rather than first-degree. He filed a request for the Wisconsin Supreme Court to reconsider the decision. The Wisconsin Supreme Court, however, turned down the appeal at the beginning of 2021. Weier, who was 19 years old at the time, wrote a letter to the court during a hearing on March 10, 2021, expressing her deep regret and sorrow for the anguish, pain, and anxiety I have caused to Lochner and my community as well. Weier declared, "I regret what I did on May 31, 2014. But after many hours of therapy, I no longer feel bad for myself." Judge Michael Bourne of Waukesha County issued an order on July 1, 2021, directing state officials to create a conditional release plan and assigning case managers from the State Department of Health Services to monitor Weier's progress until she reaches the age of 37, which is the duration of her commitment. Weier was released on September 13, 2021, subject to several conditions, such as a 24-hour GPS monitoring program and a prohibition against leaving Waukesha County without authorization. Weier won't be permitted to use any social media platforms, and her internet usage will be closely watched. Along with taking medication, Weier will also need to attend regular counseling sessions, which a caseworker will personally accompany. Additionally, during her probation, she will have to live with her father. The GPS requirement was eliminated on September 11, 2023. A court petition for Geier's release was filed in January 2024. After 2 months of filing her request, she withdrew it. In April, she will go before the judge. Following the stabbing, the Waukesha School District blocked access to the Creepypasta Wiki. To help the stabbing victim, members of the Creepypasta community even organized a 24-hour live stream on YouTube on June 13th and 14th, 2014. At a one-day bratwurst festival, the Wisconsin City of Madison raised over $70,000 for Lochner. Lochner, who was 17 at the time, discussed her experience for the first time with ABC's 2020 on October 24, 2019, over 5 years after the stabbing. The Slender Man stabbing case serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of online influence and the importance of mental health awareness and early intervention in young individuals. Our hearts go out to all those affected by this tragic event. Thank you again for watching my video today. Please like, subscribe, and share our video for more eye-catching content. Stay safe, stay vigilant.